For my second athlete, she is a national level soccer athlete. And so our movements might be a little bit more advanced than our high school athlete. Warm up is pretty much the same. Arm mechanics will be static and will work for more coordination and just get them activated and try to get them moving. Activation with dynamic work such as high knees, butt kicks, hamstrings, ankles such as pogos, just potentiating the ankles for the sprint work. And then continuing that through the skips. Same deal as with our last athlete, forward, power skips, lateral, focusing on force production and potentiation. And then we'll move into build-ups. Same deal, building up to the intensity we want to work, and sometimes even over. So with our soccer athletes, since they are more focused on the running side of things, I've worked more on the speed aspect of things rather than the power. I feel like with our athlete here, the stronger that she gets, the more powerful she will get. So just being able to improve her quickness will help benefit her more in the long run. And so we have 3 different days. They decrease in overall complexity, but increase in intensity. So starting with day one, she will actually be doing resisted sled pushes on the first power day. And so we will actually keep with the resisted movements, starting with a band of resisted skip to just potentiate that force reduction in the proper position. And just as like with our first athlete, we'll superset that with a sprint at 75% with the goal of cueing her in areas that she needs work on. And then we'll move to a band of resisted sprint to focus on the position that she needs to be in for the sprint, and then another sprint at 75%. And those will be 2 sets of 15 to 30, 15 yards for the resisted, 30 yards for the sprints themselves. And that's another thing, due to the environment of her sport, I actually increased the yardage of the sprints rather than our high school athlete, just because he is probably new to the whole sprint game, as well as his sports do not require him to move as far as a soccer game would, especially at a national level. Day two, we are moving to banded resisted high knees in order to potentiate for the hill sprints at a 7% incline. As we progress throughout the weeks, I'll go back to day 1 and then we'll move more throughout each week. Today is more focused on proper positioning, as well as being able to work on stride frequency rather than overstriding. A lot of soccer players, with just the amount of running that they do, they tend to have a lot of hamstring injuries. And so we want to focus on putting her more on her toes, leaning forward, utilizing her quads, and being able to push off more powerfully. Day 3 is going to be more based off like a soccer game would. So we would start with flying 15s with wickets. We'll do 3 sets of a 10-yard build-up, 15-yard wicket, and 10-yard finish. The finishes on both are going to be done as fast as they possibly can. The wickets are going to be utilized to help the athlete remain upright in her top speed position. Most soccer athletes, just with the distance that they run, they will probably at one point get to their top speed. And then we'll do an acceleration, deceleration, receleration drill. So we'll start with 20-20-20, 20-yard acceleration, 20-yard deceleration, 20-yard receleration. The receleration, she's finishing through as fast as she possibly can. Going into week 2, we keep with the resisted skips and sprints, same yardage there. The sprints moved up to 80%, same rest time. Same with day 2. Most of everything will be the same, just trying to gain the adaptation we need before we increase any loads. And then day 3, we did have a small increase in the acceleration portion. So adding 5 more yards to the acceleration and then keeping the decel and the recel with 20-20. Moving into week 3, moving the sprints up into 90%. So we're getting faster as we need to. And along with that, I should have increased the rest time, so I will get those up to about 2.5 minutes after this video. Day 2, we increased the hill sprints to 4 sets of 20 yards, as well as increase the rest time there. And then day 3, we have a 25, 20, 25 XL, decel, recel drill. So just increasing the overall yardage there. Week 4, we're moving in. Those should have been moved to 100%. So we'll be sprinting at game speed as most as possible. Same with increasing rest times. Day 2 will stay the same as week 3. And then day 3, we have increased the XL to 30 yards, decel to 20, and then recel kept at 25 yards. Moving into the power days, as I said before, she will be working with day 1 will be lower body focused. It'll be more focused on force production. And so she'll be doing a resisted sled push in that sprint position that we wanted earlier in the sprint session, working at about 15% body weight. As research says that 25% body weight is about the optimal where ground reaction forces are increased. So we will be working up into that load since she'll be supersetting with Vertimax hopping sticks. So with that, she will jump as high as she possibly can with a blue band resistance, land properly, reset, and then jump again. The goal is to focus more on the concentric action. Moving into week 2, the resisted sled push will be up to 20% body weight, and we'll move into a Vertimax counter movement jump. The counter movement jump is she's doing 4 jumps repeated. So she'll jump once, as soon as she lands, get up again, as soon as she lands, get up again, and again. Just kind of now we're focusing on, can you absorb force and then immediately go, can you shorten the amortization phase is pretty much is what we're getting at. Week 3, we're moving into the 25% body weight. That's the max that we are gonna hit, because as you see, it'll be in week 4 as well. But we will be moving into a Vertimax split stance hop and stick. So now we're moving from bilateral into unilateral. And so we'll stick with the blue bands for the resistance, and she'll just be in a split stance. She'll jump as high as she possibly can for 4 reps of each side. And then in week 4, we'll go into the counter movement jump, doing 4 reps repeated on each side. Day 2 since, move too far up. Since soccer is not an upper body dominant field, we are gonna be focusing more on core power. And so I have a med ball slam paired with banded resisted hip rotation. The hip rotation is more focused on the soccer kick movement. And so we'll start with a med ball slam with a little lighter load at 6 to 8 pounds. And then the band resisted hip rotation, we will probably wrap that around something sturdy, such as a rig or a pole. And she'll be doing 6 reps each side at a low resistance band. So if you think about our weight room, anything from a small black band to up to a yellow. From there, we'll keep with the same weights on the med ball slam, but we'll move to a higher resistance band. So anything from like the medium black band or the yellow band to the medium black band, with decrease in reps at about 5 each side. Moving into week 3 and 4, we've upgraded the weight, so we're from 6 to 8 pounds to 8 to 10 for the med ball slam, and we've moved to a cable resisted hip rotation. From here, we will have the athlete hold on to a handle or wrap a band or wrap a belt around their waist. They'll get into their position that they need to, and then they will actually do a cable resisted hip rotation against a lighter cable. And so since it's individual, I put at about 5 to 10 RPE, and then increase the RPE. So just telling her to increase the weight for week 4.